not enough to have the right spacing at the beginning of the key movement of your offense, because defense are getting better, are more prepared, and there will be spacing and respacing again. It's a continuous. I consider spacing like a human being. It's alive, it's moving, it's changing, it's adapting. And I stress my players on this every single day. I believe that I have to make a step back and tell you what is my offensive philosophy, and then going down, what is the strategy, and the last things are the tactics. Philosophy, it's like the manual, owner's manual of something. The strategy is like the big picture, how you're going to do the things, and the tactics is the X and O's, what are you going to do in that single play on the court. I like to build an advantage as soon as possible on the shot clock, but this doesn't mean that we are gonna take and use that advantage right away. So we want to use the advantage, keep the advantage, and then going to the best shot we can. The spacing is the biggest tool that allows you to keep this advantage that you are building with us. For example, we are talking about screen and roll action. So it's mandatory to work on that every day, to focus on that, to talk to the players. And I always say to my players that bad spacing is equal to be selfish, because there is only one player that can score, but other 4 players can help this player to score. And if you stare for the ball and you don't move, basically you're playing defense when you're offense. And sometimes there are players that are willing to learn, because if you have a team willing to pass the ball to each other, they are going to have open shots. Sometimes there are players that are making the refill, the slide, the lift, or whatever we talk about the spacing, just because you are demanding this. So after we spoke about what is the spacing on this angle, on that screen, I want always to add to my players some things that they can always remember while they're playing. And the first concept that is not a basketball concept that I try to deliver is the right spacing is when the ball can see you, not that you can see the ball. It's something very similar, but I'm going to show you a couple of clips of my team where the players, while they were playing, did the right move just because they were remembering in that moment how much I was talking, the ball must see you, the ball must see you, the ball must see you. Because sometimes you are half open, you see the ball, but the defense, the rotation, the player is under great pressure, the player with the ball, and cannot deliver. So you need to make an extra effort to help the player with the ball to deliver the pass, if he's willing to pass the ball, because this is something that we will talk later. So Ryan, if you can show the first 4 clips. It's very, very simple. Please, I'm not doing anything. Let's hope that it works well. Go. Thank you.
You can see it?
I can see it.
Okay.
This is an offense in transition. We have bad spacing. We're developing the transition not properly. Okay, go. We have a drive to the baseline. And you see number 7, he's sprinting to the corner. Like this is the biggest priority for him So we start from a situation that is not clear, okay? So they cover this, and this, if this player doesn't go where the ball can see him, there won't be that pass. There will be a turnover, 100%. So here they're applying what I'm talking, every play, the ball must see you. This is the right spot. This play is an amazing play because it's a big play in a final against our biggest rival, Red Star Partizan. You know, it's something like Duke, North Carolina, you know, big pressure. Okay, it's fourth quarter and we are struggling. We were up by 10 and they just tied the game. Okay, so go to the next play. Okay, so ball must see. This is the only spot where the ball could see. So look this play and look the left corner player. So we play a pick and roll, okay, nothing. So go back on the moment of the first pick and roll. Go back, Brian, thank you. Okay, so stop, pick and roll, behind the ball, two players on the tag action, okay. Defense is cheating a little bit. Now on this pick and roll, the rule should be you lift from the corner 2-3 steps out, right? Okay, and the player behind goes on top of the key. This is the normal spacing. Black uniform number 3, I believe should be 1 step lower, okay, to be, it's this, I always say to my players, this is the difference between living in San Diego or living in Mexico. That one extra step to the corner can make a big difference. So here, the player in the left corner is lifting behind the ball. Okay, go, Ryan. And now, the play didn't develop, so it's still there, okay, as we expected, okay. This is a veer switch, okay, go. Now, he beats the big guy on the baseline, and you see how the player is sprinting to the corner? So the ball must see you. Here, he sees the ball, but the player cannot deliver that pass. This is 2 examples, and maybe for you is nothing. I can understand that. But to me, that I put a lot of emphasis in explaining this concept, to do this in a clutch moment of the game, you know, and the player came to the, because there was a timeout, player came, I remembered that the ball must see me, so I sprint to the corner, coach. So these are small things that help to believe in what are you doing, because now he scores a big 3 just because he spaced one time, you read the second time, and it's re-spaced and following the development of the play. Going to the third one. Okay, so here we pass in vision. I say this, if my terminology is different than what you use, I apologize. I try to tell you what I say to my players. This is a kind of edge. So we try to punish this defense, passing the ball, throwing the ball ahead, okay? And this is a very small detail. So the ball is here, the player is keeping rolling, okay? And the player on top of the key now will make one slide enough to create an advantage that he can use or the next player on the weak side can use. Because if he would stay there, the rotation would be easier. It's enough that side step, you see, that slide, go, boom, and now open player. So keep moving as a team, as a human being, all together. Go. This is against Fenerbahce, a team that was bigger than us, okay? And this is Ekpe Udo on defense. So look what they do on the weak side. So first screen is high. Basically, they go under. we rescreen, but it's not enough. I don't want a 2-man game. I want a 5-man game. And the player in the corner, that is Darius Millen from the Pelicans, reads the situation, clears, I would say with good speed. Is not walking, because this is something that I will tell you later, but I use this clip. If you respace walking, it's like that you're not doing anything. This move will create a single tag action. And this is why we are scoring this layup. Very strong and aggressive lift behind the ball. Okay, go Ryan. So this is what I consider like keep playing after you build the advantage. And when you don't build the advantage, still have, like in this action, they are going under. We all do the same things, rescreen. But what we do with the others, we want them to play with the situation on the court. So if there is any questions, please stop me anytime. I'm not here to make a clinic. I want to get back something from you also, because Springfield is not in Italy and is not in Serbia. So it's something that I always remember. Okay.
Coach, what are your rules? Okay, right. As they're playing the high pick and roll, right? So here, obviously, you have the middle pick and roll going to the 2 side. They go under. Okay, obviously,
yes.
Darius Miller cuts, and you have your player now sprinting down to the corner. So what are your rules that you're teaching your players in this situation?
Okay, first of all, what is spacing? Spacing is I don't let one player on defense to cover 2 of offensive players. So basically, I want here that everybody's involved and one player, because the pick and roll action engage 2 players on ball. So I want that we are moving together, so one player is to be open. If the player from the corner will not cut on this second screen, the defense will be perfectly aligned to have first line tag, second line, X rotation, and anything you want. So here the rule is under, rescreen, rebuild the single tag. And I use the same principle when you're going to see the next clips, also against stunt defense, where I do 3 different things. Okay, because stunt is something that you have to face like a spacing problem.
So versus the under, you're always trying to create the single side tag?
It depends. It depends on the coverage. It depends on the size. It depends who I have behind the ball. But you can do whatever you want. I don't believe when you give too much information, too many information to your players, you see them like an old laptop with too many data on. They are slow. So what I'm trying here to give to my players is they play with the rational instinct. I tell them what they have to do, but they do it on the court. So this game, the preparation for this game is they are going to help a lot from the side of 2, or stunt or tag. So try every time we can to do something against this. So in this case, we cut from the corner and we play against the single tag, and the player is relentless because he goes first down and then makes 2 times spacing, not only 1 time. He is moving the whole play. Go. So he goes down, and Bogdanovic here is caught exact in the middle. He cannot help on the roller, and he cannot guard the shooter. So he keep moving. Okay, this is similar. Okay. Okay, stop. This is not because it's under, we are flipping the screen, okay? Flipping the angle of the screen. So when you flip at the last moment, the angle of the screen, the spacing is not clear. And I talk a lot to my big guys how to set the screens. I spend a lot of time how I want these screens to be set. This is not a great screen, but just flipping the angle and look what happened. Okay. Go. Under. Now, again, this player cuts, because this is the other option, 45 cuts, okay, and the corner lift. Space, respace, and respace again. You will see the next play. Okay, we want to say hi. It's not a mistake. It's something that we like, because spacing is not only horizontally, but I know it's a geometric mistake, but I call vertical spacing. So I want to stretch the defense not only side to side, but baseline to half court. It's very important. I know there are gonna be a lot of under, but if later I'm gonna show you how I like to set the screen that is harder, but you know better than me that. So here again, screen, under, go, rescreen, cut, because on defense you can say them, please see your man and the ball, but it's not so simple. At a certain point, they are all oriented on ball, all. So here we play in the back, 45 cut, deliver the ball, and Daniel Theis follows. Okay, after I start with the spacing, then any questions? Sorry, please feel free. Yeah, I don't want to be boring. Please.
If anyone has questions, you don't have to type them in. You can just ask. Coach wants it to be more interactive.
Well, I guess my question is right here. Those two clips are from the same game, and so were you guys purposely clearing the nail after they go under that initial screen? Was that a part of your strategy, or was that a quote unquote rule that's going to carry over from game to game? Whereas in the prior clip too, you know, obviously you were obviously clearing that corner to get the single tag.
Okay, I do like this. I give them a portfolio that I coach very often, everything. So on this action, you can do basically three things. Okay, you can cut from 45. You can cut from the corner and slide to the corner. That is the thing you saw previously, okay? Or you can screen. The first line screens for the second line. I didn't see other options so far. I'm ready to find them, or maybe you're gonna tell me something about, but these are the true things. The first thing everybody was doing was the cut from 45, but the efficiency of that cut changed in the last years because they scramble. It's like zoning up. So the player from the baseline takes this and they do, is like a quick switch between the two guys. So I started thinking, what is the best way to create a problem to this kind when they are helping from the side of two a lot? And usually I put this rule. When I'm playing with the big guy, because this is 1 to 4, I can be there. The big guy can be a factor on the 45 cut, and it's able to punish even the switch from the weak side. When we have two guards, I always send the corner under the basket and create the biggest space possible with the player on 45. Of course, if you are able to put a shooter there, they are done. There's no way you can rotate on this. Did I answer to you?
Yeah, no, that's good for sure.
So
Now, well, I guess one more question. Sorry. So in
Please.
Europe, right? Obviously, are we looking at? They're always helping from this low man on whatever side the double side is.
It's changing now. They're helping more from the first line.
Now they're
It's
helping more from
changing.
the first line. Okay.
Yeah, but
Okay.
it was like this. It's true. It was like this.
Okay. Okay. So you're seeing more first line help, and so now you're able to manipulate
Yes.
the back line guy.
Very simple, because everybody's putting the best shooter in the corner.
Yeah.
So basically, and if you have a player that can deliver a quick pass on the weak side, you won't be in time. You can say extra rotation, but you know when
Close out.
you know then it's a closeout. You have a good player there. So now I see a lot more help from the first line, and I do that. I want to involve as less as possible the player from the baseline.
Cool. Thank you.
It's very rare to find a four-man there in Europe. Very rare. Very rare. Okay. Other questions? I saw something right
Yeah, Coach.
written, but
One of the coaches wrote that another option is to flare the nail on the loaded side. So
flare the nail, yes. But I see them ready to switch. So flare the nail, perfect. Screen first line for the second line, perfect. But at the end, less is more. And because you're going to win a game with an open three, usually 3-point shot wins winning games. And basically, the slide to the corner is the thing that guarantees you the best open shot. But you can do it, but I see with good communication, they can handle it. Because the player that is stunting or helping is always there. You never move him with a flare. So if there is a flare corner from this player, so go in the next clip, please. The other one. So, okay. So if you flare in this situation, this player is always there and you don't have room for the one-on-one of number 13. So he will be always there and they can. So then you go in something that is more complicated, that you have to slip the flare because they will talk, they will be ready to switch. Golden State can do it. I cannot do it. I'm sorry. I'm not good enough to do that. Don't have KD doing that. Flare and slip and a tall player on that. But it's something that works. But sometimes if you are not at the top level and you don't have the best player in the world, less is more. The spacing, open look is the best thing you can give to your players. My opinion.
Coach, what kind of weak side coverage would the first line screens to the second line? What kind of coverage would that be open on?
So you're asking me what kind of coverage we can have in this situation?
Yeah, or I'm saying like if that first line were to screen for the second, your third option, how would they be playing that for that to be open?
So
what are you looking for?
I make you a stupid example. Let's say the pick and roll with two players behind the ball. Okay, you ask to tag on the nail, and the tag is different if you guard the shooter or non-shooter. If you guard the non-shooter, you can put the whole body to bump the player. So basically, you don't let the roller roll. If you guard a shooter, and we call them hot players, you can bump on the hip to slow down, but you cannot go under the screen or under the roller, sorry, because if the roller is smart, will become a screen and there won't be any rotation available on the player top of the key. This is when you have two players behind the ball. When you have two players in vision, you can do different things. Let's say that you don't want to engage the big guy in helping too much because you have a single side with a shooter. So you involve the player now on the R of Brose. You can choose. There are teams, especially in Spain, they go to trap. and they call it next, and they have rotation 1, 2, 3. So the player guarding the ball should sprint to the corner. The first player can trap and work for a deflection, and the corner player here will rotate, trying to rotate to deny the pass to the corner, can stunt and stay there, okay? Basically, these are the two options. It's how hard you want the first player out of the pick and roll to be active. This is the read. Did I answer?
Yes.
It was clear? So tell me
Yes,
if I
that
was
makes
not
sense.
clear. It's my job to be clear.
Yeah. Is he screening, if that first line screening the second line, is he screening his own there, or is he screening that second line defender more against the next coverage?
So you're telling me about the 5-man.
No, more talking about
Coach,
going at
pull
a
up the
two-side.
clip. You had a clip earlier on the screen.
This one?
No.
No.
No, go down. Next one. These are not screens. This one?
No. I'll get to it.
This one.
No.
I
Sorry.
mean, if the 45 cuts.
Yeah, on a 45
Screens.
cut, like right here, freeze.
Yeah, he's
You
screening.
said,
Okay, stop.
you said, yeah.
Here.
Yes.
You have always to think about the size of the player. This is our 2-man, okay? And this player is a 3-man. So you can ask to screen, and there will be, it's a clip later, you're gonna see there is this screen, okay? But you don't screen the first line, the second line, you screen the first line.
Right.
So this player screens the players on top.
Yeah.
And like this, you open this. This is just, the player on defense is bumping, but the cut creates this open player. Okay, go to the next one. 2 more there is. Okay, so now we deliver the ball on the cut. So he sees the back. I always say, when you see the back of your defender, go in his back, cut. This is the moment you can cut, okay? No, it's later. Anyway, if you screen for the first line. The flare, I didn't find great efficiency in that. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So all these things about the spacing are very, very important, very, very nice. But if you don't have priorities in how to build the advantage, the spacing won't be necessary because nobody will be open. So basically, how you screen and how you use the screen is something equally important to the spacing. I cannot say one thing is more important than the other. It's very important. So I start when I introduce my ball screen plays, my ball screen system, I first talk about the screen, how I want the screens. And this is something that I do every day in practice. And to tell you the truth, I do also that sometimes I do that guards are screeners and big guys are handlers, just to make them understand how hard is the job of the other. And sometimes this will help you when you want to have a wrinkle where you do the inverted pick and roll. But I'm not afraid to do 2-on-2 inverted pick and rolls, and just like something to change a little bit, to show them what there is behind every single detail. So here is not a pick and roll play. Okay, go. It's a coming off play, but we are not waiting for the screens. It's very bad execution. And so when you have bad execution, you need to go in broken play situation. It usually is a screen roll. Go here, we don't shoot, we read correct, but we are not sharp and crisp. Okay. So now 10 seconds on the shot clock. Every screen that is coming from the baseline, I want that we angle the screen as much as we can. My perfect screen would be with the back of the screener to the corner. not always easy to do. Players are not, it's something that they don't do often, but here, very, very important. We angle the screen, could be better, but the screen, after that we said that we want to angle it, I asked the big guy, the rule for you is, big guy, your feet must contain the feet of the defender on ball. So a wide base, and I want to say wide like your shoulders, I don't care. I care that your feet contains the feet of the defender. Why? I'm talking about headhand screens, but the contact, it's not the goal. The contact is a consequence of a perfect screen, because you put the screen on the path of the defender, so he already got into the screen or is late. So here the screen is wide. He could angle it a little bit more, but the screen on drop coverage, and you see is going towards, there is more room, side of one, because late pick and roll, we need to find the spacing for the shot. Okay, go.
Coach, is your rule always
Yes.
been late shot clock to go to the side of one in pick and roll?
If we set the screen, yes. If we're flipping, you can do it wherever you want, but just slip it. Because I always say, when the screen is under 8 seconds, don't set the screen. Turn this in an ISO. Turn this in a lob action. Don't play a screen with 8 seconds slow. They're gonna switch and you won't have any kind of advantage, and you have to hope that your ball handler will create something of the dribble. These players that can create of the dribble are in the NBA. Very few of them are playing in Europe. So here, 9 seconds, set the screen, perfect screen, drop coverage. The feet of the screener contains the defender. Go ahead, please. Wide open shot with offensive rebound. Everything is from the screen. The screen created the shot. Go to the next one. Here, we're facing a very physical and aggressive defense. So here, we are not good. We are not good, but so the player is reading. Open, flips the angle of the screen. It's a good screen. It's not perfect like the other one, but for the development of the play, he is opening. We said to them, you're going to play against drop coverage, set the screens to open the shot. He does the job. Go. So, again.
So your philosophy on screening, right? You said you guys obviously scouted them, knew they were in drop coverage. So you're asking him to hit and hold the screen as opposed to reroute and get out. And on a normal screen, you obviously mentioned a slip earlier to open up lob action. Are you allowing these guys to make this determination?
I'm not a great fan of slipping, because when you slip and it's a selfish way to play the pick and roll action, because at the end all the big guys feel, oh, if I slip, I'm gonna get the lob. If I slip, I'm gonna get the lob. Okay, there are basically in one game, there are something around 120, 140, 150 pick and rolls. I don't see 50 lobs. So even when we slip, I like that they hit a little bit and then they go full speed. They don't hold the screen. So I believe that the best screeners are this one that put like a wall on the defender of the ball. It's a wall and he cannot go through that wall. So there are plays where we run the lob, but we call that plays. We decide that is a clear slip. But I learned that giving the freedom to slip, at the end, is always a slip. And so first of all, you want the player with the ball to be open, right? If you play screen and roll. Then from that, we are going to build the advantage. But if you play only for yourself, the player with the ball would never be open. And after 2 times you slip, the third time the big guy will not help on everything. And they're gonna talk, and nothing. You don't have nothing from that offense. So I don't allow them to slip so easily. I give them because players like, people like alley-oop, all these things, but it's more something that we can control with the play calls than giving them the read. But I'm gonna show you after when I talk about the passes. So look this play. Okay, stop. As I told you, especially with good pick and roll players, it's not a problem that I play high. I know that they will go under, but if you angle the screen, going under is a suicide. You're gonna have 2 steps of separation. Sometimes when I'm on defense and I play against good pick and roll players and they make me play like this high, and if I say to my player, okay, don't play pick and roll in the first one. Let's make the court small. We want to play in a small court. They want to play big, we want to play small court. If he's a shooter, it's terrible. Here, it's not perfect because we are rushing. Again, aggressive defense, the first thing that the player does, he goes too early. And I will tell you this is bad job from the guard, but the court is so big, the screen is good, and we open it. Again, go. Not great execution, great result. This is the second thing. Screening first thing. I always ask my players to reject, always, for 2 reasons. One is when I explain how to run the pick and roll, I tell them, guards, you can use the screen only when the big guy made a jump stop and his feet are on the ground. You cannot go early. And they say, why? Because it's going to be illegal foul. Illegal screen, sorry. And the big guy won't do the best of their screens later because they don't want to get fouled out. And we play a lot of pick and roll. But you cannot take away the instinct from the players. You're going to kill them. So you want to have freedom? Perfect. You can go reject whenever you want. But if you want to use the screen, you have to wait for the screen. You cannot go earlier on the screen side. On the side where there's no screen, you can do whatever you want. And like this, you go towards player that thinks that has freedom. He has freedom, but you don't lose the control and you stay in the system because the big guys feel, oh, the coach is protecting me. I will set good screens. And like this, you have an offense. You have a system. So you want to go early, you want to play one-on-one, you feel the moment, you go reject. Look. And the second reason is because reject builds a better spacing. Okay. First of all, you can score. This is a very stupid play, but go. You can score layups with reject and open threes. Go. Nothing new, nothing. I'm not showing you anything special. You can score one-on-one. So 1-4 pick and roll, reject. They are preparing that and stop, go back. This is a huge game against Teodosic in Virtu on the road, okay, 4th quarter. So instinct, he feels that he can beat him, perfect, but you do it where you are allowed to. Go. This player is late, he tries to seal his man. Was not ready to follow the player on the baseline. Okay, go. Reject. Go, Ryan. Nothing, because we are sleeping on the weak side. So from the reject, you can have a better screen. So here, side of 2, he's reject. We are not reacting. Corner cut, baseline, slide to the baseline. We don't do it. Mistake. Shit happens. Okay, so this player keeps the dribble alive. We rescreen. Okay, good reject, out of position, big three. Look now.
Excuse me,
Yes, sorry.
I have a question. I take you
Please.
one step before to the sleep versus setting the screen. Is there any connection to the guard? I mean, some guards are weaker, they need stronger screen. Some guards just need separation. They have a good, like here, like Corey Walden here. Like when you talk to the bigs, you allow them to sleep with this guy more and to screen, and this guy have a screen, or you don't even talk about it?
Can I ask you a thing? You were a player?
No.
I'm not. I was not a player too. So I will say I want them to talk. I love the players to solve problems by themselves in the system. So to me, every guard likes a good screen. To me, if I have a good screen, I can play. Something good will happen. I don't know if every guard can live with the player not screening and slipping and throwing the ball over the rim every time. I'm not sure. So basically, let's do the basic stuff. So we screen and we hit, headhunt screen. Not because we want to injure the defender, because we put a wall and we put it with the right timing so he cannot avoid it. So I believe it's something I prefer my players to screen. Also, it's a mentality. We want to play tough. We want to play tough. Everybody say play tough. I don't believe that slipping is something tough. Sorry. Maybe I'm wrong.
All right.
I was not a player.
Coach,
Yes.
one question, just like, do you ever talk about concepts in terms of, ATOs, teams are going to blitz? Have you ever talked about, hey, against blitzes, we're going to slip, against drops, we're going to set it?
Yes, definitely. I do it. But for example, what I say is, whenever you, big guy, see that the defender is over your shoulder, the shoulder close to the half court, slip. That means that he's edging, right? But the point is then it's a difficult read while you're playing. Your pulse is 180. It's a clutch moment. Yes, but I tell you, sometimes if they edge, I will help you with a different alignment, with a short roll, maybe, instead of giving them this great freedom to slip. Yes, it's true. We can slip, we do it, but I'm not encouraging, I'm not pushing them to slip, because how many teams play 40 minutes of edge? Question for you.
Well, from a concept standpoint, right? Like when you're practicing, hey, we're going to practice against blitz today.
We do everything. We blitz, we trap, everything. But at a certain, want to prepare my team to play the game. So I tell them, if they are blitzing, okay, we go for the short roll. So there, it's a clear situation where there's no screen. And I can tell you, you can even short roll if you forget and you screen, but if you move properly, you can even be open like this. But true, what you're saying is correct. I look at the big picture. I'm always afraid of players that want to slip every time because they will receive the ball every time. So it's something, for sure, the right read against blitzing is slipping. No doubt about it.
You give your point guards the freedom to call the slip if they see the hard show of the blitz?
I don't see many point guards. You know who's the point? The point guard is out of 100 guards you can call.
Or I should say guards. Like the guard sees the hard show, the guard sees the blitz coming. That's not something to work on.
I'm happy if they're able to see there is a blitz and they think here take care of what they should do. I love when the players talk. I love when the players find solution. But if you make a tryout and call 100 of guards, only 2 of them are point guards. And a point guard is a player that can think like a coach on the court. Will say, you slip, hold the screen, because against the 2-man, they are dropping, hold the screen. How many players can do that? Very few. Very few. So you have to help them. Do the right thing, and we put the thing together. Any other question? Okay, look this play. So look, horrible spacing. The big guy is not aware that he has 3 players on that side. He changed the angle. Go. So terrible spacing here. So the player with the ball rejects. Build the perfect spacing. So reject to build spacing, the right spacing. The next thing I don't talk too many about what kind of shot they're gonna have. Floater, pull up 3, pull up 2, snake move. No, because they're already so involved in thinking about what shot they can do. I talk and I practice every day, 6 to 8 minutes passes out of the pick and roll in a warm-up. Big to small, small to big, every day. I start talking about what kind of passes I want. First pass I show is pocket pass. I don't believe I have to show them everything, Ryan, because they all know.
Coach, when you're practicing
Yes.
6 to 8 minutes of pick and roll passes, is it always a continuous buildup of pocket pass first and then building on your sequence of what you want in your reads? Or do
Okay,
you
the
do it
first
based
thing
on
that
the opponent's pick and roll coverage?
Okay, we are always short in time, always. So what is my job is trying to win time, to gain some time. So the best way, stop it. The best way to win time is to make them learn while they're playing 5-on-5. There's no better way to teach your players the right way to playing 5-on-5. So I use usually the first 30 minutes where I build the tool, use the tools, give them the tools, build the situation. And then I play 5-on-5, pick and roll sets, ISO, coming off, post up, whatever, with different requests, different demands and all like this. So every coverage has the best pass. But if you, first, when I started, or years ago, I was so in love with 5-on-0. 5-on-0 is the most important practice, drill in practice. And 5-on-0, everything looks so nice. Everything is perfect 5-on-0. Spacing is perfect, everything. Then you play 5-on-5 and nothing works. So I cut all this. I show 2 courts up and down, the teams, the play, new something, new system, new series, and then play. Because I give them in the warm-up and 2-on-2 the passes, but then they have to use it. You cannot, because some players are, for them it's easier to pass off the dribble. Some of them cannot pass off the dribble, but they still see the pass. We are not all the same. Steve Nash doesn't play anymore. Magic doesn't play anymore. Jason Kidd doesn't play. So every player can make one thing better than the other. There are players that are able to hit the opposite corner with the pass, a laser pass. There are players that see that, but they're afraid that they cannot make it. So I'm giving them what kind of pass you may have, but then they have to find their comfort zone playing and the right pass. So this is what I do. I show them, we do it in the video, but that in the game, deliver the ball to the open guy. And then we are gonna build, working in practice, the confidence to make the right pass. Look this play. So we are aboard the pin down action. Again, mistake. The guard is not waiting for the screen, but the screen is good. The guard against aggressive defense does always the same. They are rushing, but then we are able to create on the roll this pocket pass. Other pass we teach, early pass, go back to when they are blitzing or something. Pass right away, even without the dribble. It's a clear, early pass, it's clear with the slip. We don't talk about the slip, we talk about the pass. Very early in the development of the play. Jump pass, not for everybody. If you are small, jump pass. If you have size, jump pass can be something interesting to do. This player is 6'8", 6'7", can pass the ball over the defense. Then we go, late delivery. You attack, you build the advantage. This is a wrinkle of a play. Bad spacing, so we keep playing. Late delivery. Deep drive, late delivery. And we talk about that. So screen, rescreen, late delivery. Then late pass, so you don't have the drive to the baseline, but at the end of the roll, the big guy is open. How to find him? Use the pivots. You open and you find the player at the end. Late pass is at the end of the roll.
Do you work on pivot pass?
Stop.
Okay.
Yes, yes, yes. But we do this more individually. 2-on-0, 3-on-0 when we do guards and all this. This player does everything. Reject, boom, pivot, late pass. Lob. You can have lob, even screening. Screen and lob.
Coach, I have a question for you.
Stop, please.
The question is, these clips are great, and I'm seeing a lot of different guys handle in the pick and roll. How do you decide who you're going to let be a playmaker in the pick and roll every season? Just whoever can do it? Or do you push? Yeah.
So I don't, when I build a roster, I build a roster like this, very simple. Creators, wing players, big guys. I don't do many different things. So I love to play. Sometimes I was able to play with 4 handlers together when I had Darius Miller. Okay. Usually I always play the whole game instead some specific when I was super big with 2 handlers, because there are people that are saying that pick and roll is boring, dribble. It's true. It's true. One thing you can do to make it a little better is that you don't play pick and rolls off the dribble, but you play live ball pick and rolls. To do that, you need 2 things, or 2 handlers, or that the player that starts the offense is able to dribble.
Coach. Live ball
yes.
roll meaning triple threat pick and rolls?
Say it again. Sorry.
Say live ball pick and rolls. You're referring to triple threat.
When I say live ball, I didn't use the dribble yet. I catch from a pin, from whatever, and I didn't. Yes, you say it like this. I said you didn't waste the dribble, so you can go you can jab, you can use the screen, you can pass without the dribble and everything. This is what I mean, live ball pick and rolls. Thank you. Did I answer?
Yeah, I mean, it looks to me like you push a lot of your guys to be playmakers, which is, it allows you to have a lot of different threats on the court.
If you have only one or two players, you are dead. They are going to cover them. So what I say is one team will always have one or two good defenders on ball. Okay? Very rarely you have one team with three good defenders on ball. So my system, I'm going to play the pick and roll with the worst defender every time. Because if you have a guard that can fight the screen, you don't need the big guy on defense. He will do it by himself. He will destroy the screen, force you, go with you, hold you, scratch you, grab you, whatever. Okay? In Europe, you can carry a gun on defense sometimes. Okay, so one thing to have offense is to play. There are games where I decide to play pick and roll only with that player on defense. So you coach, or you take him out, or I have some game. You understand that if we always finish with the shot of the handler, nobody will have fun. So that was the reason, because I said to you, build advantage, use the advantage. It's not always the player that is building the advantage to use the advantage. To me, it's rare that we use the advantage with the player that is building the advantage. Okay? Any other questions so far?
I have a question, Coach.
Please.
So as far as this goes back to pick and roll spacing. So we know that, a lot of defenses like to minimize the court and like the ice on the sideline. So I guess my question is, as far as when guards decide to snake to get back middle or to get back to their dominant hand, does the spacing on the weak side and the strong side principles remain the same, or does it fluctuate in order to initiate?
Basically, good question. Thank you. Basically, when you snake, it's like you're playing against the stunt, right? Or against the help from the weak side, two players. So we consider that exactly the same. You can choose to cut with the 45 or cut from the corner and slide to the corner. It's what you have that is fitting. You're like a chef, You have some ingredients, I have different ingredients. So you choose how to put them together to have a good dish. But you can have a good dish with fish or with meat. So 45 cut, slide to the corner. I'm open for everything. The thing that I would say against ice defense, I didn't put a lot here because I didn't face it too much, that if you have only one answer, one idea to beat ice defense, defense is going to win, because defense is habits. And I'm envy how they do in the NBA, icing every side thing. I'm so concerned about the three-point shot on the opposite side that I never went through that so deeply like you do. But to me, if you give different options to your big guys, and I would say first thing, pop and go on the weak side, and the second big screens, and you have DHO after pin. This is something that the big guy that is icing on this side will be late. Second thing, what will happen if I tell to my big guy, as soon as you see ice, you cut in his back like a banana cut? What he's going to do? He's going to stay with you, or he's going to stay on ball. So you create a one-on-one situation for the guard. And then other thing are handbacks. I never ask my players to flip the angle on the screen when the ball is close to the sideline. It's the best thing to be trapped, even from a slow big guy, because the portion of court he must cover is very small. So one thing that you have to be aware, if they're icing, and in your game, in your system, that is, we change the angle of the screen and we try to snake, you need room. So the guard should dribble high to create the right spacing. Again, spacing. Did I answer?
Yeah, appreciate that one, Coach.
Okay. So look this play. That was an ATO. We tried to create a shot for the stretch 4. Here, slip, lob. Late on the shot clock, lob. Now here we are trying to force a switch. They don't want to switch, and we are late pick and roll. Here, hit and go. Single side, hit and go. Stop. There is, Ryan, stop it, please. Go back. These are all lobs coming from read and react. Okay, moving together, shake, pick and roll, end of shot clock, hit. He sees that the big guy is late. Boom, player lift very strong behind. But there are some wrinkles that you can use from very common plays like stack pick and roll to create a lob. So from the Spain pick and roll, you can do very simple thing. Go to the next play, please. So you see the stack pick and roll, boom. This player, just the player under the basket, sorry, because you don't see my finger, I'm sorry. The player under the back, the player is supposed to go in the back screen action. Look what he does. Go, Ryan. He just played there, stays low, shooter behind the ball. It's very hard to guard this. So you put the shooter behind the ball, this player forced them to play 4-on-4, like a surprise play after a timeout. Very difficult to guard. This is how you help your team with drawing a play. We're running this also in transition. So see the player under the basket, what he does. Go. Calls the defense, and you create like this a problem. You can score 2-3 times per game. You can score on this. Any questions? Okay, the next thing I talk to my players is pass to the others. So the other 3 players. Here, don't go in details, and I told you before why. Because some players are able to make some passes. I just ask them, try to read the defense, to read the players on the weak side, and deliver the ball to the open guy. So this is the most important thing. What kind of pass? I would love to have players that can pass off the dribble with the left. No. So I prefer them to choose what kind of pass, but just to find the open players from the weak side. Here, the screen is good, spacing ball side, okay. He sees the player there helping, deliver the ball, not perfect, but efficient. They do a good exploitation, close out offense. Nothing special. Live behind the ball. Violent. You don't do this to make me happy. Because some players, I'm behind the ball. You do this to score. But you understand that here, if the roller doesn't roll hard, it won't be open. So again, build the advantage, use the advantage. To build the advantage, screen the right way, play after the screen in the right way, deliver the ball with the right pass to the right guy. So here, edge, pass in vision. Right away, right as quick as you can, and then this player reads ball to the roller, ball to the open player in the corner. Again, here, nothing, bad spacing, but he sees he's edging. blitz, call it as you want, pass in vision, contain screen in the weak side. Okay.
Coach, can I ask a question real quick?
Please.
What kind of concept spacing-wise do you use with the other three if you don't have a great shooter? If you have a shooter that's maybe under 30% from three, how do you hide him or do you move him?
Can you trade him?
Say again? Yes, no. You can trade him, yes.
No, because we are talking, if you play, I can hide one player, one bad shooter, but you have three, don't play pick and roll, play something else. So the best spacing when you don't have shooter is the spacing I call 1-1-3, where you put three players on the baseline and you have to have a good pull-up jumper player on the pick and roll, because there won't be layups, or there will be few, and I can show you how. But if on the weak side you have non-shooter, what do you do? If you cut, the defense is already waiting for you. So what you can do is screen. So what I was saying to player that cannot shoot, go in the screen, stop a rotation, but it's hard to be efficient. Maybe it's better to play coming off on both sides to move them, so you can always curl if you're not a good shooter. But having two players on the weak side, they cannot shoot, you have to pray. I'm sorry, I don't have solutions for that. I can hide one player. One thing you can do, let's say you can survive when you don't have two, you have two bad shooters. You put one in vision on the side of the ball. So, and the ball side help is never something so, for example, you play angle pick and roll, okay, on the right elbow, on the slot, you put a four-man that is not shooter in the corner, okay? But then where to put the other player under the basket? This is the only spacing you can have. Basically, you play with two corners and one player on the baseline, and you try to clear the elbows to have a little gain from the elbows, short roll, pocket pass, like this. Okay?
Coach, another question. If you face a hard hedge or a blitz, do you tell your big to short roll or roll all the way to the rim?
I went through this question by myself, and the best answer, the best solution I found, and the best answer I can give you, I tell my players to play, to keep playing, because you never know when you are gonna be open. I show you, you can be open late, you can be open early. So follow the development of the play. And my big guys understood that. And every big guy is different. No? You have the one that likes the lob, the one that likes the short roll. But if you play only for the short roll, and everybody knows they're gonna be ready. If you play only for the lob, they are gonna be ready. So just keep playing. So it's reading. Offense is action, defense is reaction. Do you agree with this? So if you have quick action, it's harder to do the right thing on defense. So just keep playing, just keep playing. I show you the passes. I show you that you can get the ball early, in the middle of the play, at the end of the development of the pick and roll. So just keep playing, just keep the spacing. Don't roll too tight to the ball. Roll at the banana. If they are blitzing, be ready for the short roll. But sometimes on the blitz, you will receive the ball on a triangle, because we're gonna pass the ball in vision and you have to keep rolling, for example. There's no one. We are all trying to give them the solution. They have to find the solution. They play. We can give them the options, but at the end, the thing that can help, you can build plays. I always said specific plays for specific coverage, so they know what to do. And then after that, they're gonna be able to do it correctly reading. Okay?
Thank you.
Understand through these meetings these last few weeks is we've got to make some hard decisions, and we do pay Brett a lot.
Okay, let's go to the stunt. We put together the things. Okay, first thing I was doing, 4-man invasion, melee, cut like crazy to the rim. Could be on side, pick empty corner, could be on the shake. You see the back, go in his back. Here, boom, corner, slide. So corner cut, slide to the corner. Keep playing, keep driving, open shot. Open, not open, but good shot, I would say.
Coach,
can I ask you here
nowadays-
something?
Go ahead.
Sorry, Ryan.
Nowadays against heavy nail teams, because so many teams are trying to 45 cut, and it's something you and I spoke about yesterday. I think this is one of the most effective ways to attack heavy nail teams. And
Definitely. For me, this is the best way. Then we already said it yesterday. You need a player that can knock down those shots. But if you put the best player there, here we didn't execute well. But I want to show you this, the principle of the offense. But if you do it like the first two clips, the ball must see you. You do it violent. You do it aggressive. You can have an offense. Somebody had a question. I heard.
Yeah.
Please.
This clip we can see. You talk about the beginning. You said creating the advantage, keeping the advantage, and using it. Mm-hmm. And here it's one of the first clips that we see the keeping the advantage. And you most of the time talk about the creator and the finisher. Mm-hmm. But how you work with the other guys, the spot-up players, to keep the advantage, so they won't need to create it again.
More you give information, worse you're gonna play. Basically, I believe that a player that has 50% by 3-point shot, you don't have to tell him anything. He's gonna shoot the ball, and you're gonna be happy. Because every team, so in baseball, I believe there is DH, designated hitter, and I have DS, designated shooters in my team. There are always 2, max 3 players, then they can shoot even without exchanging one pass. Only them, because if everybody, I was open coach and he's in the middle of the court. Everybody's open in the middle of the court. I was open coach. No, 2 players has the freedom, like to be DS, designated shooter from the team. So when you have those shooters, you don't have to tell them nothing. But what you're asking me will come with playing. This is the reason because I develop all the system, offensive and defensive, through 5-on-5. Because when you play competitive 5-on-5, real 5-on-5, in practice, you're going to see the tendency of your team. You don't go at the game and you're surprised. You already saw the things in the practice. You saw this player is not good in processing the advantage on closeout. So you're going to work with the assistant coach showing the clips and work. Flyby, 3-point shot, floater, deep drive, and everything. It's a process. You cannot snap fingers and have quick and good. Doesn't work.
Coach, do you do any unique ways of competing in 5-on-5?
I don't know if they're uniques, but I have plenty. So I was a freak of having the best practice I could afford to my players. So I was preparing practice with perfect drills, amazing drills, everything, this, people yelling, people sweating, this, that. But that was to calm myself, to make myself happy and confident, not the players. So we play 5-on-5, right? So basically, you have to teach them the things through 5-on-5. Don't take me wrong. I don't go at the gym, at the facility, take the ball, jump ball, play. No, 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 no. I have plenty of situations how I build the 5-on-5. For example, I love make and stop. So if I believe you know, because it's something that I saw in the United States. So if you score a 3-point shot and you go on defense, to have the 3-point shot, you need to stop them. If they score a layup, they have 2 points and you lose the 3 points you was going to score. And that game to 7 can last 20 minutes because you need to put together 2 plays. You go to the Inferno version to win the game, because there are always a winner and a loser. You have to put together score, stop, score, or stop, score, stop. Other 20 minutes, because you need to put together 3 good plays to link offense and defense 3 times. Another thing I do, team is lazy and we enter in the shot clock late because we are not developing the transition well. So you can make the video clip, you can tell them, but then words are words. Believe me, it's enough that you do 2 times. We play 5-on-5 with the game rules, a quarter, but the team on defense that grabs the rebound, okay, or makes the inbound after a bucket, has 4 or 3 seconds to cross the half court with the whole team. If one player didn't cross the half court, you have a turnover. Believe me, it looks so stupid, but there are turnovers at any EuroLeague level, maybe NBA not. I don't know, I never coach in the NBA, but it's enough to do that 2 times, and they're gonna go earlier on offense because nobody likes to give the ball, I guess, for a stupid thing. Just a player that instead of sprinting was walking. You can, with 5-on-5, you know, we all have the problem. Sometimes the team is lazy in playing the fundamentals, set up the defense, playing off ball. So we as coach, we show the video, 5 clips, we are lazy, we are not moving off ball. Okay, perfect. Then you ask them, move off ball. All these things, I took it on the side. I say, now, all our pick and roll plays are not pick and roll plays, are handoff plays or DHO. It's enough to say that the whole team must move without the ball, because if you play a handback, you need to set up the defense. If they deny, you need to go backdoor and play with the next one. Otherwise, you're gonna make 24-second shot clock violation because the big guy will stay with the ball on the half of the court. So very small thing to help to develop your ideas. 5-on-5. I don't believe that if you do 3-on-0, cut, replace, everybody shooting, all the things we do, this is gonna be effective like when you do something 5-on-5. Your team doesn't have depth on offense, okay? You cannot put the ball on the block as often as you want. Perfect. There's no shot if the ball doesn't go in. You cannot do it for 3 days. You do it for 15 minutes, for 12 minutes. But it's a way to deliver a message, is a way to make them think what they have to do. At my level, it worked. I don't know. Any other questions?
Coach, I'll make a comment on something that I heard that you would do 5-on-5.
Mm-hmm.
That when you were trying to teach your team how to read and react, when you would play 5-on-5, you would play organically, and then when the offense would make the wrong read, you would stop the play and restart it from that point and put the defense in disadvantage. You'd make the defense play the exact same way, and then the offense then has to make the right read and then play out of that right read. And that's something I heard that you did on one way to execute.
There are moments. I believe in preseason, you can stop. You can start from that. Many times I do also 5-on-5, 8 seconds on the shot clock. And they are randomly on the half court. So they have to find the best position possible with the cut, with the filling a spot, with cutting, or just moving. But the best way is when they lose an opportunity to score because they are doing the wrong read. This is the best way to teach them. So it's always through the game. This is the reason because I always have points, shot clock, and time, and always have goals. We never play without a purpose, never. There are some moments where you can, especially when you practice the day before the game, you cannot make them run like crazy because then you're going to use all the energies. This is the moment where you can stop more. 2 days before of the game, it's the real practice where you can push them to go in game rhythm. There, what I do is I let them play a stint, 3 courts, 5 courts, whatever, 7 points, make them stop. And then when I have to stop to make them breathe, I tell them, you remember that play? You made this mistake. Usually they are shocked because I remember all the mistakes and they don't. But this is because I'm a coach and they are players. And one thing that I like very much to do, and I do it quite often, let's say once every 15, 20 days. In the middle of the practice, I take 2 boards. I divide 2 teams of 7. I give a board to one so-called point guard, another board to the other. And I let them choose the plays, call the timeouts. And let's say I play 1 quarter, white team 63, black team 58, 10 minutes, bonus after 4 minutes, a substitution like this. I do the substitution, not the players, because this is dangerous, but they have 3 timeouts, they can call it out. I do this because I want to see what they understand. I want them to talk, and I want to see what they like to play. One old coach told me, if a team doesn't call one play, it means that they don't like it. So it happens to me many times. I prepare series the whole summer, and I have to throw them in the garbage after 20 days of preparation because I thought that was perfect for them, and they showed me that it didn't fit, for example.
Coach, do you ever limit their dribble?
Very often.
Okay. What type of, how would you do that?
I would do that in fast break. So first I do open 3 dribbles. Then I say you can develop the fast break with 2 dribbles, and then you have to develop a fast break with 1 dribble. And you see how they have to run more, better lanes, and you can do it even 5-on-5. Then I do it only the player on the post can dribble, and only the player that should build the line of deployment can dribble. All the others play cannot dribble. So you can dribble to find the line of deployment with the big guy, or the guard you want to post up. The player on the post can dribble, not anybody else cannot dribble. I do it, and it's very similar to what I said before. It's something that you cannot do very often because they think that you treat them like stupid. And this is a very thin thing. So I prefer to do our pick and rolls are handoffs, because like this, you are reducing the dribble without telling them that you are taking away something.
Coach, quick question, Coach. Can you hear me?
Please.
What is your transition concepts? Like, do you always send 2 guys to the deep corner and the big trails, or how do you do that?
Vertical spacing. So run, and bounce back from the corner. So you have to reach the corner. I want that the player that got the outlet try to receive the outlet over the free throw line, even close to the middle of the court. I have no problem because you can always abort the fast break and get back.
Right.
But to run transition and you have to make the whole court with dribble, this is not transition, this is set play. It's half court offense.
Right.
So risk a little bit. And I always allow the 4-man to be the second point guard. and to dribble down. And if he doesn't have a pass, we go and dribble a DHO. Right away, dribble handoff, we attack that, nothing, ball on top to the second guard, pick and roll on top. Very simple.
Okay, cool.
With a 5-man. So first trailer, second trailer.
Right, right.
Anything else? Maybe I'm too boring, huh? It's already 1 hour and a half.
Coach, I have a question, Coach.
Please. Tell me.
Question.
I don't hear you well.
How you choose the point guards? I see that how you choose the point guards?
I don't choose point guards. I don't have point guards.
You hear me?
There's no point guards out there. They are all in the NBA.
I mean the point. Yeah. how you choose the guards? I see that you like a lot. Yeah, how you choose the handlers? I see that you like a lot to play in the pick and roll game, and how you choose them? Do you get how you make your decision? Do you get the experienced guards from Europe, or you hire from you make a risk and hire some guards from the college or NBA?
It's sad, but it's the ocean for college players is very big.
Yep.
The 24-second shot clock and building the advantage and using the advantage is something very difficult to teach. I try to have players that have one skill. Great passer, great shooter, great north-south. You know, when I picked Brad Wanamaker now plays for the Boston, was cut in second division in Italy. Okay? Cut because he was not good enough, they said. And when I took him for the strength and his ability to go one-on-one. And because I saw that he was working, because they cut him, he was so motivated to work on his pull-up jumper. And sometimes you need to give to these players. At the beginning, he was not taking the pull-up jumper when he was supposed to. But he invests so much time in developing that shot. Why I should take away this? Maybe it was not the perfect read, but it was something to make him feel confident. And from that day, he started to play, and now he's in the NBA. He was cut in second division in Italy. Believe me, second division in Italy is, many players can play in second division. It's a good league, but it's still second division, okay? So I try to find what they can do. I was very impressed. I believe at Real Madrid in soccer, in their facility, that is something amazing. It's like Las Vegas, okay? For the youth teams, before you enter on the court, I believe it's written on the wall or on the door or something. I don't remember where, but it's written, you are here for the things you know to do, not for the things that you don't know to do. So if you look for what a player cannot do, you always find something. Same way, if you look for things he can do, you may find something too. So this is how I pick players. I try to find something they can do. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yep, thank you.
Any other questions? Ryan, I'm going too long. I'm sorry.
Anything specifically you try to do defensively when guarding pick and rolls? I mean, how do you handle that side of the ball when you're guarding pick and roll? Do you have someone that
I had ages in this. You know, I do something at the beginning that I change, and so when I started, I thought that the best defense can save you from many problems is playing 2-on-2 pick and roll. Because if they're trying to open shots for the others like this, then you find players that can go against your big. after many different things, basically I do everything, but my rule is try to do everything in an organic way. I was not able yet, but this is my goal for the future. I can do many different things if I force the ball to the screen, because the rotation is similar. If you do trap, hard hedge, 60 degrees, 45 degrees hedge, high flat, drop, basically it's just how aggressive you do the things and how aggressive you move from the others, but it's all the same. Rotation is towards the same side. If you want to be effective in playing icing the ball and edging, it's something not so easy, because the rotation is different. And I do believe that if you want to be effective in ice, you need size in the guards, size in the big. Otherwise, the ball will go over the head of your defenders and they're going to find the weak side. So then I try to do, okay, I do 4 minutes of one defense, then automatically we switch in a different defense. Didn't work. My next step was I have 3 different units that I use with 3 different pick and roll, and they have to do their best in their best pick and roll defense. That worked very well. I had one player that was great in edging and trapping, one player that was very good in high flat, and one player that was very good in switching. So for the others, didn't change so much. So you have to rotate a little more when you trap or edge, but the positioning is almost the same. You always help with the side of the 2, right? Basically. And that was the thing that I like, and we're very proud that we can do effectively 3 different defenses. Because we all love switching defense, but you cannot play switching defense for more than 8, 7, 5 minutes if the game is very difficult. You cannot play 2 quarters of switching defense. They're gonna make you so tired. They're gonna expose you on rebounding. You're gonna have foul trouble. So switching defense is winning games, but you cannot abuse it. You need to use it when it's the right moment.
Coach?
Yes.
Yeah, how quickly are you looking to get into your pick and roll? Is there an ideal time for you to start your pick and roll?
As soon as.
Okay.
Because I want time to use the advantage. If I build it early, I have more time to use it.
Right.
Can be after 4 seconds, 5 seconds, whatever. Any other? No.
Yeah, Coach.
Oh,
Can you hear me?
Tell me. Yes.
Yes, you said you like giving your players freedom, but like with a non-shooter, is it okay to give him a rule of just cutting off ball?
Yes, but why should cut if his man is in the middle of the paint? He's going towards the defense.
Try to suck some of the defense in.
I don't believe you're going to have much from that. You are lucky if you have something from a screen, because let's say you try to build a 2-on-1 situation, but if you have a non-shooter, try to find the way to hide him. Don't put him on the weak side. Or don't play pick and roll if you have a total non-shooter. Use him as a screener, for example. If you have the 5-man that can shoot a little bit, use him as a screener. I don't know. I'm trying. But trying to find a solution for something that has no solution, you waste your time. At the end of the day, they're going to leave him wide open. We say like a dog on a highway in Italy, wide open, and he's going to have to take that shot. He can cut 10 times. We will never receive the ball. Maybe you're going to have one time that he will hit somebody on a rotation, and his man, another player will knock down the shot. But if you want to play 10 pick and roll with a non-shooter on the weak side, don't do that. You cannot find a solution. I tried everything. So the only thing is put him under the basket. and make him seal his man. This is the only thing you can do. At least you play 4-on-4.
What about,
Okay.
Coach? What do you like to do against all the switching people see now?
I treat switching like I treat edging. So the best pass is in vision. And it's very important to have the right spacing, to have small size behind the ball, to avoid or to punish the triple switch. And but more, this is tactics. More important is that you have to have philosophy. And the philosophy is very simple. It's nothing new. I'm not gonna say anything new. Slip or seal. So if you slip, you create a problem on reading, should I switch or not? If you seal, means you screen my man, I may open the other player. Ryan, do we have the clip on switching? Did I send it to you?
I'm not sure. Is it, was it in a separate folder?
Okay, no, I didn't send it. But anyway, when you pass the ball ahead, it's harder to do whatever they try to do on defense. So maybe I have here something on my laptop. Maybe. Any other questions? I will try to find it.
Should I keep going with this video, Coach?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Sorry, Coach.
Yes.
What is the one thing that you see in Europe in comparison to NBA that you wish NBA coaches did more of from a pick and roll standpoint?
I believe that most of the things we do in the two players involved in the pick and roll are coming from the NBA. In being creative, you are years ahead. What we do, what we have to do is the spacing, the respacing, keep moving. And we play pick and roll as a 5-man game, and we don't play the pick and roll as a 2-man game. So there are teams in Europe that post up through the pick and roll. So they do everything to pick and roll. And that means that you have to move in an organic way. You have to, every step, every move should be extremely detailed. And you cannot miss 1 second. If you are late, nobody's open. So we are forced by our physical skills to be perfect in spacing, respacing, reading, and reacting. This is the difference. I cannot tell you anything else, because all the things, you know, that are coming to Europe are coming from the NBA, or the small thing. Maybe we have spacing things, some angles on pick and roll, because we need to help our players to get open more than what they do in the NBA.
Are you seeing in Europe, when teams are dropping their big man back, are they also, are any of them not tagging anymore, just playing 2-on-2 in the pick and roll and trying to force that into a 2-man game?
Yes, we do that. I do that. When you play against team of shooters, you don't have anything else. And you have to be ready to swallow some pull-up jumpers. Because if they put shooters everywhere, there are teams that play spread pick and roll with 3 shooters. Man, you have to play 2-on-2. You have to have clear rules. You want the big guy to be the king of the paint, the guard to destroy all the screens. Something will, you cannot cover everything, but you need to be ready, and you need to tell your team, we are ready to swallow this to win the game. But the worst thing you can do is you do one thing, you help from the corner, you receive the 3-point shot. Then the next play, oh, I'm guarding a shooter, I don't help, dunk. Then the next play, close out. Game is over. You don't have a chance. So sometimes you need to be very straight and tell them, we can afford to give them this, no way.
Is that the hardest thing you've had to execute against, is when people force it down and the drop is deep and they make it the two-man game?
From one standpoint, yes, because this takes away the primary goal, that is creation. So we do play pick and roll to have creation. We don't take many shots from the ball handler. Sometimes we have end of shot clock with your best shooter, but this is not the goal. I don't want to win or rely on one player making tough shots of the pick and roll. I want creation. If the other team takes away the creation, you have to be ready to do something different. And you can be the best pick and roll team in the world, but if you don't have at least two players that can post up a little bit, you're not going to win title games. Because you need something to make them shrink, to have room on the three-point line. And if the ball doesn't go in, you won't do it, because aggressive teams, athletic team, they're going to destroy the screen. They're going to be on you. Pack line defense, you won't have a lot of good shots. You don't have rhythm against those defense. It takes away the creation. You don't have rhythm. So the only way to win those tough games is to put the ball inside. There's no other way. And it's not a big guy. I don't care. Just give me two players that can post up and hold the play there. Point guard, no problem. I will find a way. But you need to go inside. Okay?
Hey, Coach.
Yes.
In terms of ATOs and seeing either man-to-man or zone coming out of an ATO, do you have a number of plays that mirror man-to-man and zone?
When I have ATO, I always tell them what we're going to run. If it's man-to-man, that is the thing I write on the board, I draw on the board, and I tell them if they run zone, we play this. That is a play we already have. It's very rare that in a timeout, especially in Europe, we have 40 seconds. You can explain them well two offenses. It's sometimes I had to take my last timeout, let's say 40 seconds before the end of the game, because I need a bucket. So in that case, I gave them two offenses, but one of the two is something we already know to run. I cannot draw two different things. You cannot make the player remember with the pulse 180, the pressure and all the thing to remember two ADOs. No, you cannot.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
How many formations are you operating out of just generally in your playbook? Different families?
120, 100, 120.
120 different formations, like families.
What
Igor,
is
Igor
a formation?
Kokoshkov used to call them families. I don't know how you guys may call them.
I call it series.
Series, yeah, series.
We can have max 8 series, and I would say 5 with millions of options. I tell you, you know how many options you can have from the zipper entry?
Millions.
Do you have a number?
I know of at least 25 on my list.
I don't have all them, but I scout them 90 options from a zipper entry, for example. But I tell you this story, I had a player that was coming from Barcelona, great player, Gianluca Basile, when I was in Cantu. And Xavi Pasquale, that is a genius, had a playbook of 500 plays. It was a book like this. And I went to him and now he had to tell me how you remembered all these plays. We didn't remember. It's very simple. 10 is the magic number. You have to prepare the game with 10 plays, 10 series, 10 options, whatever. 10 should be perfect. Then if you draw something from your playbook, they're going to run it. After a timeout, you explain them. But out of 100, 10 for each game. You can change them. You can prepare. But more than 10, they won't be so crisp. Okay? Any other questions? So, I believe.
Thank you, Coach. This was awesome. This is outstanding. Thank you.
Well, thank you, the guys. I'm the poor guy from Europe talking to Jim Naismith.
Coach, this is Tom Crean.
Oh,
been awesome. I'm on page 11 of my notes here. But how much do you use wide pin downs on the two side as far as for your spacing? And when you have the slot or the wing area, you have the corner area, will you utilize the wide pin down? I know what you said with the flare, but will you wide pin it to create some action?
Okay. Talking about wide pins, it's wide screen for the player in the corner, right?
Yes.
And okay.
Yes.
So I use that a lot, especially with Marcus Page. That is a very good shooter from that situation. But what I understood that so far for our point guards, it's very difficult to be able to play from both sides together. So they cannot process and understand two advantages same time. So I ran that, was one of the first clips, wide double, from double high with the handoffs, double wide pin. The efficiency was not good. The efficiency was better when you go in single double, but that then is not anymore a wide pin, becomes like a floppy action or a pin down. So when I run wide pins, I ran first on one side and I explore the advantage and use the advantage. And then eventually I ran it on the second side. And that was a lot easier for the players with the ball to read the advantages and was a lot better for the execution, because when you're on the weak side, you are a little late to run the second wide pin actions because you are helping from the weak side, especially if there is a wide curl. And that was a lot easier for my players to play. So wide pins, one side, second side, never together. But I use them a lot, and I use this like a wrinkle on shake pick and roll, because if they help with the player, he is inside the screen. If from a shake pick and roll, I enter in a wide pin. That works well. Did I answer?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. When you're running, one more part of this, when you're running a wide pin and the ball handler's coming, maybe say from the right side to the left, but he's somewhere in the middle and the wide pin is happening, say left side, slot to corner. What are you getting him to look at outside of just the receiver that's coming off the screen? Are you working with your guard or the handler to be able to look for the ability to turn downhill and get to the rim and that?
I said this to all my players, offense and defense. The most important thing is who makes the first contact. Who makes the first contact wins the battle. So when I have to wide pin, I always ask to the shooter to know where is the defender and make the first contact. So like this, I'm able to put him in the shadow of the wide pin, okay? So I reduce the options. Knowing that where is he, so I'm leaning on him, I'm using my body on him, I can push him in the screen, and it's a lot easier to read if he's going through and fade, because I know physically where he is. The worst thing that can happen is when they guard these wide pins from the outside shoulder. So you cannot screen them. So you understand what I mean? So I'm going from they're on the outside shoulder. They don't want to give any clear target for the screener. So that becomes very important what you do with the other two players, with the player with the ball and the big guy. Who's gonna help on the wide curl with the dribble? the point guard defense helps. I slide, pass, and create the adventure from them. As soon as the big guy sees that the big guy on defense is a little higher, slip to the basket right away. So this is a situation where we don't want to screen. So there are two. Basically, what I want is to reduce the options of the defense. Why? Because it's easier to read. If the worst thing is when a smart player do a different defense every play. One time he goes under the pick and roll, one time he's going over, one time he's icing. You never get in rhythm, never. But if you make the first contact, you know where is the defense, you can reduce the options. So this is basically what we do on wide pins. This is the reason because I want to play one side and then second side, not two sides together. Because I want that they show
that
clearly
makes a ton of sense.
Who's helping. Okay?
That makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Coach,
Yes.
when you were with Bros Bamberger, with Melly, you were so good at throwing the ball back.
No. He was so good. Sorry.
He was so good. Throwing the ball back behind the ball screens and then posting him up at the end of his roll. Was that ever a call? Was that a concept? How did you get your guys so good at that, about getting him post-ups on the backside of his roll after throwing the ball back?
It's always nothing changed on this. So I always say, I don't know where you're going to get the ball on the roll. So what I hate is when the big guy set the screen and then said, okay, I did my job. I want keep rolling, keep playing. Sometimes you need to slow down because the guard is going with speed. Sometimes you need to speed up because you want to stay ahead of the line of the defender. So it's all about reading and reacting. If you go deep, then the only thing you have to do is just when the pass goes out to find your man and seal him. It's over. He has no chance. But what every rookie player does, instead of going and seek for the contact and find your man, he's going on the block. He wants to receive the ball without contact. Guys, you cannot play without contact the basket. This is not volleyball. So maybe I can show you this. This is you see everything in this play. And it's also for what you were asking me about. Switch. I will turn the camera.
Coach, let me stop sharing my screen. Hold on. There you go.
Okay. It's a little Jurassic, I'm sorry. But look, we are playing against a team that was switching a lot, okay? Basically, the whole fourth quarter. So I use this stack pick and roll, and you will see everything here. Okay, reject, force the switch, and I say, put the defender on your back, seal. I want the defender on your back. The player that is in the stack, lift on 45. Usually I put the four-man biggest size so they cannot switch back. And look, play is over. Play is over. Big guy against guard, with the guard on his back. Okay. Boom, over. Okay, look at the next play where we make the mistake. But Melly was not making this mistake. Same play, nothing new. Switch, force the switch. Okay, now defense doesn't want to stay on his back. Okay, but look now. Look, the mistake that is so easy. Skip pass. He release the contact. It's over. If he seals, like Melly would do, this is a dunk. This is a dunk. It's a guard against the big. So it's enough that he keeps the contact. He creates all that area of operation under the basket. It's over. So switching defense, seal, contact, over. That was the concept on switching defense that I want to show you. Okay? That's it. Any other thing?
Do you want me to continue with the video?
I believe they're tired. I went too long. I'm sorry, guys.
I have a question for you because obviously it applies all around. You've done an excellent job of obviously evaluating and signing guys such as Darius Miller and who you previously spoke about. But you've had
Miller, Melli, Wanamaker, Tice.
Right. And so you've had a lot of these guys develop into NBA players that were not really considered NBA players before they got to you. So what are you doing player development wise? What is your philosophy? What is it that you're evaluating when you see these guys that you're able to take a Wanamaker from second division Italy getting cut and turn him into an NBA player? And obviously, you know, as I said, with Darius Miller and Melli and even the development of Zisis, who was already a great player, but he still continued to improve in Bamberg.
Maybe he developed me. Maybe that. Good players develop coaches. I believe it's first the selection of the people, of the person. I am bad coach with people that is not striving for excellence. I'm terrible. I'm pain in the ass. And for me, it's a sin if you don't try to be the best version of yourself. So I try to recruit players that has the will to become better. If somebody doesn't have this will, you cannot do anything. You can be the best coach in the world. He will not take what you're giving him. So all these guys wanted to be better. I just found the way. For example, Darius Miller came to me and said, "Coach, please stay on me. I'm not able to be demanding to myself. So kill me every day." I didn't have to do that with Wanamaker or Melli. They were machines. They wanted to go to the NBA, to go to the highest level possible. So we just find each other in the middle of the way, and their improvement was my team improvement. So we found a deal. So if you cannot have the best players in the league you're going to play, the only way you have to win is to make your players better, so your team is going to be better. But you cannot skip this process. You have to make them better. And if they don't want to be better, what we can do? Nothing.
Hey, Coach, I really appreciate your time. Other than your team, who are some other teams like us people in the States can study that you really like to follow?
Žalgiris, for defense, Monaco. Good spacing, good, I would say, very similar to Boston Celtics offense. Lietuvos Rytas. FS, if you want to see what is give players freedom, have something back. Maccabi, if you want to see how a coach can adapt, you can watch Olympiacos of 4 years ago, how they were playing and how Maccabi was playing this year. It looks like their coaches coming from two different geological era, and it's the same coach. For me, Coach Varopoulos did an amazing job in adapting to his personnel. From a team where the core was all Greek players that knows everything about basketball to a core of young American players, athletic, amazing. There are a lot of things you can watch, a lot of things.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you. It was a pleasure, really. Okay, I hope that I was not boring. And thank you very much. Please, stay healthy, be smart. It's very important in those days. And I wish you all the best. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ryan.
Bye.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Ryan.
Coach.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, Ryan.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks, Andrea.
Thank you.
Coach.
Thanks, Andrea.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Share. If you'll pay half, if you'll pay half, and then share.
So
He's gonna pay his half of the transfer tax. You'll pay only your half.
RP, thanks, man.
Ryan, thanks a lot, Coach. Ciao, ciao.
And that's calculated this way.
Thank you.
$2.20 per 1,000. I forgot for the moment. Per 1,000, $2.20. So, well, it's $4.40 per 500, but a Birch is only responsible for half of it. So I always do it 1,000.